Welcome back, nerds and turds, to another live stream repair. Boy, do we have quite the queue that we have built up for ourselves here. So we've got Kelvin's HomePod that we're taking another look at. Let's shoot them an email so they can watch. Here we go. Alright, so as I was saying, Kelvin sent their HomePod in a few days ago for a brick repair. It took the software restore, but after a few days of testing, it did unfortunately re-brick itself, which points pretty much directly to it being a hardware issue, particularly likely one that's thermal related, like the BGA for the NAND, like most of them. So we're gonna crack this apart and do the full maintenance to it. Kelvin already said go for it, so we're gonna do that. And we are actually going to be, I think they want it colored red, so we'll be leaving it apart after we fix it up, because we'll be taking that mesh off to put some red stuff on there. And by that I mean obviously we can't color the black meshes, right? So I made them an offer and I am trading their black bits for some white bits that I have sitting around, and I'll use those to color and swap onto Kelvin's pod here. But first it needs to be worth, coloring up. So we're going to get this logic board out and stick it into our reball later pile. Until I actually fix that logic board, I do have a couple on hand ready to go. Ah. Alright, here we go. We're going to go a little deeper. We're going to get to the amplifier, since that's usually where issues happen with these HomePods. There are two main areas of focus. Of course, we glance over everything else, but there are two things we really focus on. The filters, in the form of ceramic capacitors, that, like all ceramic capacitors, they naturally decay over time and lose their effectiveness at filtering DC voltage. Now, that's not super important for every application that a capacitor might be used in, but for these capacitors in particular, failure has no tolerance here. So they let DC voltage through where otherwise DC should not be going, and that makes it into the audio signal where it gets amplified by the amplifier. Amplifier amplifies, go figure. And then it leads to bigger problems like death farts and other bassy issues. And then the other area we focus on is the shot key diode. If it's got a particular date code on it, then those tend to fail and cause no power, as you've seen us fix very many times here. So, it's going to get new filters no matter what. If it's got a diode with the devil's date code on it, then we'll replace that too. And hopefully we don't find any other surprises in here. The queue today looks quite interesting. We've got a variety of issues. We've got some with no power. We've got some with death farts. We've got a couple more bricked ones. Welcome to the chat. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, I should say. Both of those things are fixed in the Gen 2. The no power issue is fixed in the Gen 2 as far as the exact same hardware failure. I mean, the Gen 2 is completely different hardware than the first gen, so they're not going to have the same problems. As for, so like the no power issue in the second gen is almost certainly not a problem anymore. That goes without saying. There's a million other things that could go wrong in it and cause a widespread no power issue, but we didn't see any reason for it. Alright, why do they have to do this with these screws? They have to use this super glue of a thread locker there we go. I'd rather fight with it than have to break it off and deal with that mess. Oh, we missed one. There we go. Okay. So yeah. And then as for death farts in the second gen, only time will tell. They still use ceramic capacitors to filter in the second gen. So inevitably they're gonna go bad. But how the HomePod will behave when they do go bad, I don't know yet. I do not know. Yeah, I haven't heard any widespread problems. I've had the rare question or email. Usually seems like software issues. There was one that we had get sent in to us with no power. Still haven't had time to figure that one out. But one day. So first up, we're getting rid of those filters. Make way for new ones to keep the death farts away. All right. For fresh filters. How can we tell if a no power issue is what it is or not? We can't. You can take an educated guess by the power draw that it pulls. If it's a like a surge issue in someone's home's power, then usually that blows a fuse and it doesn't pull any power from the wall. And then obviously various shorts will pull more or less a few watts. But what we have seen with the first gens is none of the ones with like diodes going bad have been because of people's power. The diodes go bad because the diodes are bad. The one-off where we get a no power in and it's like a blown fuse or what, like something else, that can usually be problems with the power the HomePod got. Alright, I'm bringing that up close so I can fix this disaster. There. For fresh filters. And we do have a 48K dated Schottky diode, so that is the date code that we see failing the most and causing no power. So it's a good thing this got taken apart and worked on. Chances are this would have come back to us for a no power issue sometime down the road. Have I seen a blown woofer on a HomePod that was not caused by hardware failure? Yeah, like one. Literally just one. Maybe two. And it was like the voice coil like fell apart. It like started delaminating or something. And even then, I don't know if that was still DC offset. Essentially, from what I can tell, I haven't seen a single subwoofer die where it wasn't DC offset or those filters going bad that killed it. Take that as you will. But it's not surprising. I mean, speakers by themselves are very robust. If you give them what they're supposed to get, they generally last pretty much forever. Especially ones that are made with good quality materials like the subwoofer in the HomePod. They don't use any foam or any materials that would degrade after a few years to construct the woofer at least. You go to Goodwill and you see all those old speakers with like the surrounds on the dust covers or on the dust caps like completely disintegrated. That's because it's foam. But haven't seen any of that. my Texiota keyboard decided to just start working again. I think it was like 6 to 10 months ago. It just suddenly stopped doing anything in the middle of one of our streams, and I had to bust out the old Logitech wireless keyboard and trackpad all in one thingy. Boy, did I miss this. Cherry AMX Blue mechanical switches. Solid aluminum case. Track point mouse with left, right click and scroll button. 2 USB 2.0 ports on the back of it. A server admin's favorite keyboard. It's got it all. The only thing it doesn't have is any kind of wireless built in, but personally I do not like wireless for any of my peripherals. It tends to cause more problems than the convenience it solves, or it adds. But I am so happy to have my Texiota keyboard working again. I don't have to mess with that piece of crap wireless keyboard. Nothing feels like more of a sin than using a trackpad mouse on a desktop computer. Oh, I was like, where's their logic board? Because it's dead. Here we go. This was one of the ones that we actually sent to David when they were figuring out how to make those restore scripts. Which means it should still be on 17.5, so it'll be a great test for it to make sure it's A-OK, solid, good to go for them. If it can survive me setting it up and adding it to my home, well, okay, hold on. If it can survive me resetting it, because I believe it's still set up on David's stuff. If it can survive the reset and then me adding it to my home and then it updating to 17.6 and then being factory reset again to be ready for Kelvin, then it is a good logic board. Because through all of those processes, it's going to generate about as much heat as it'll do. And that's when things can break. Somebody emailed me the other day with like I can't remember what their wording was, but basically they were telling me that all of their HomePod's problems were solved with using airport routers instead of whatever modem router combo that their ISP gave them. And that probably works perfectly fine for them, but I can't imagine the average person being able to move all of their Wi-Fi over to stuff like that. And you might be able to just add one to your existing network, but then you're starting to clog up the airwaves. All your Wi-Fi getting blast everywhere. Got too much Wi-Fi here, son. Gonna have to turn down your Wi-Fi. It's too loud. But yeah, not a good idea to have a mix of a bunch of different Wi-Fi routers in your home just so that you can AirPlay, just so that you can use your HomePods fine. And then if your idea is to solely use airport routers, well, that should be okay, but they are also starting to age, and I think the performance impact across pretty much every other workflow, i.e. not HomePod stuff, would be not worth the trade-off for most people. But I did think it was an interesting little tidbit of info, to say the least. It kind of makes sense. That's probably what Apple tested with the most, was their own routers when they were making these things. That was you. You were the one telling me about the airports. You emailed me about that? Sorry I never responded. Just wasn't actually sure how to respond. But I don't know if I'm gonna go and start telling people to pick up airports. Unless they're really desperate. So you get 600 over your Wi-Fi, but I've got gig, and I want what I want to use what I pay for. And I think that's what a lot of other people have too. And also it matters, how many clients are connected and doing stuff at the same time too. Because if it's just you doing the speed test and nobody else is online and doing stuff, then yeah, of course you're gonna see what you're gonna max your speeds out. But if you've got the wife and the kid and the whoever, the dog watching their videos, and that can start, and especially with modern websites and data being a lot larger than it used to be. I can imagine in a denser environment with more traffic that the airports would really start to kind of struggle a little bit. But in any case, I still think it's probably going to be a better Wi-Fi router than what most people get with their ISPs. Okay, well, I gotta say, a lot of the stuff that Comcast has been shooting out the past few years has been pretty decent. It's been good. I don't have any major complaints. So, that is about it for Kelvin's for now. They might want to get it colored red, and I might be streaming that. We'll see if I can make that happen, but no promises. Let's take a look. I really want an easy one. So we've got an amp only. Mark sent in an attempted repair for some death farts. And it looks like they broke one of the pads off. For the DC filters. Alright, they said that we can make fun of them too, so we might just do that. I'm not talking about peak hours for you in your neighborhood. I'm talking about you and your local Wi-Fi network, you and your family. If it's just you and a roommate or two, you're probably all right. Ah, heck. What am I saying? I mean, even a couple hundred megabytes a second is going to be perfectly fine for a lot of stuff that a lot of people do. Who am I kidding? All right. Let's see what we've got here. Quite the calamity, if you ask me. Oh, geez. Dang, they lost 2 pads. They lost both of this one. Actually, that one might still be there. And this one might still be a little bit there too. Alright, well, let's see. Let's see what happens when we take our iron to this. It's probably going to break off. Oh, would you look at that? We still got 3 pads there. Or we still got we still got that one up here. It's loose, but it's there. And then that one's down there. I don't think we're going to get to that. So what we're going to do for that, grab our multimeter, put it in beep finder mode. We are looking for what beeps. So we're going to grab another amp board here. And we're going to find something that beeps when we are testing against this. And I believe, nah, see, none of those are connected together. Oh boy. See, I'm not finding nothing. Okay, so it is connected to this second resistor there. This one. So here's what I think we're gonna try. Let's try to get some new filters on there. And then we'll add a another wire for our friend there to get to his resistor. right. And then, here's the hard part. We need to get this capacitor onto that resistor. And I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But gosh darn it if we don't try. Okay. I got my tiny little piece of enamel wire here. Well, I did. Where did it go? It's so small. Alright, and then what does the other side connect to? Because I want to reinforce that. It's kind of loose. Oh, interesting. So it goes to this one. I'm not gonna get this. This ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna try. Oh, goodness. Yeah. I think I actually got it on that resistor. That's insane. What a miraculous move right there. Okay. So, we can basically take a cap and solder it like that. I think that'll do it. I kind of doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think this is going to work. But if it works, goodness. What do you think of that? What the hell are we doing? And I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's solid. That is absolutely legit. Doesn't matter if it doesn't work. Let's find out. Here's our other wild experiment from yesterday's stream. Ah, I almost left that. So, we need to replace that roasty looking resistor. Otherwise, no point in really testing any of this. Oh, there it goes. Oh, let's just take one more look at that. Absolutely glorious. All right, the moment of truth. Got the guts from HomePod here to power this up. I do not want to total a perfectly good logic board, so we'll take a bricked one just to see if this still powers on without complete catastrophe. And I suppose we could look at the side that'll have the most interesting stuff going on, if anything. Here we go. Alright, so it still turns on. That's good. But this logic board won't boot up all the way, so let's put in one that will. Oh! Alright, it's turning on, and my 3D print is done as well. They're little HomePods with my name on them. Alright. Oh my gosh, it works. It actually works. Not only does it work, but if my ears do not deceive me, we've got quite a great offset too, which means it really works. Yes, indeed. That is as good of an offset as you're gonna get. Incredible. Alright, well, we will need to pop this into a HomePod and thoroughly test it to make sure that actually is going to hold up, but my golly, my gosh. That is working. It's producing a sound. It's got a clean output. We'll put some solder mask on there, I think, to help keep things in place. But oh my gosh, we fixed it. Okay. On to the next one. Another mark. Do we seriously have 3 freaking marks? Or did I put Mark twice? 3 times. Nope, I didn't move Mark's name off the list there. Okay. So, Mark's amp appears to be fixed. Up next is Jeff. Let's see. Jeff here. What is wrong with Jeff's HomePod? I still can't believe I got that board working. The volume lights flash. Oh boy. It's a brick. Alright, we got Jeff's HomePod. Let's go ahead and give that a chance to blink for us while we get ready. That's good. Alright. This does not look like it is going to go anywhere. Let me grab... here's my restore dongle. Alright, so we've got the blinkies. Confirmed blinking. You're excused. Super hot. There we go. Alright, that's not going anywhere. Give me Apple Configurator. And give me terminal. As for you, Mr. HomePod, I want to see a recovery mode. No! It goes straight to DFU mode. Okay. This is probably not going to work, but we will give it the full shot. Gaster pwn, Gaster reset, iDevice restore, DE 17.6, IPSW. It is extracting the firmware. It's sending the restore RAM disk, sending the kernel cache. It's waiting for it to enter restore mode. It's waiting for the NAND. Excuse me. Oh, it's gonna fail at this. It seems like pretty much all of these bricked HomePods are gonna either be software or NAND failure. Yep. Alright. Well, if Jeff didn't join in yet, we'll shoot them an email and let them know their options. But this one won't be the sweet and easy software only route, unfortunately. We were making a good connection. I see 4 nice little dimples. And if we weren't making a good connection, we wouldn't have gotten that far. Alright. Which one is this, Jeff? We'll put that to the side and see what they want to do with it. And let's pull out the next one then. We have got Chen. Let's see if I can find their email, because I remember having a hard time. Oh, well, there it is. Chen has no power. Alright, that is something that we can certainly fix. Oh, I miss this keyboard so much. Excuse me. Alright. I am keeping track of how many HomePods are restorable and how many need hardware repairs, and so far it looks like we're hovering down to about like a 50-50 chance. At the start, it looked like about 60 to 70% chance it was a software issue, but it's gone down a little bit. Nothing to really think too hard about, because of course we don't know what everybody else is trying exactly, and we don't know what has been tried, and if they may have broken the hardware trying to fix it when it was just a software issue. In any case, we've got Chen's HomePod here with absolutely no power. Quite a familiar issue here on the channel. So we've got a couple of watts being pulled from the wall, nothing else. Let's get it apart and get it fixed. This will need a new diode to fix the power issue, and we'll give it some new filters while we're in there to keep the death farts away, even though they are probably still fine now. I've seen enough of them be fine and not replace them, and then I've taken back a HomePod because it did start farting. One thing I hate the most about HomePod repairs is getting one back that I've already worked on, so I like to prevent that as much as possible. Oh yeah, and everybody that gets a dongle from us or a repair with us is gonna get one of these little guys in there, back in their box. I thought it was a little fun thing to add. A little nicer than a plain old business card, if you ask me. Yes, cringe at me using my metal pry tool on my glass print plate. Cringe all you want. Plastic HomePods. I'll put one right here. So cool. Oh, I think it's just so cool that you can just make stuff. Oh, I gotta find somebody to make some custom packing tape for me. And I want poly tape. I don't like that gum paper tape that you gotta get wet. That stuff sucks. It never sticks. When it does stick, it doesn't stay stuck. And if you can get it to stay stuck, it falls off when you ship it anyways. If it sees any kind of humidity or moisture, it falls apart. I want some good old plastic self-adhering tape with my name on it. Sticker Mule went off the deep end, and not to mention they don't sell poly tape. They only sell the paper stuff, so everywhere else I could find, you have to buy like a minimum of like a dozen rolls, and it's like a couple $100. Subwoofer smells fantastic. Always sniff those subs. Do not leave a subwoofer unsniffed. Why do we sniff our subs? Well, because a bad subwoofer may not always smell bad, but a good woofer's never gonna smell bad. So, we don't let no stinky subwoofers sneak past us here. I have worked on no power HomePods that turns out it had death farts before it lost power, so they just neglected to repair it until it was absolutely unusable, and neglected to mention that until I took it apart and fixed it. And they were like, oh yeah, I totally forgot it. Yeah, it totally was death farting, and it actually like fried the subwoofer speaker and lost all of its bass before it lost power, but I forgot to mention that. I live in a different world, so I can kind of understand how people can actually forget to leave details like that out. My mind is constantly buzzing around electronics, and their minds are probably buzzing about something else. And the last thing on their mind is probably their HomePod. The first thing on my mind when I wake up: wife, kids, cats, HomePod. my cars are up there too. Oh. There are days that I have where like I just do not want to go into the office. And the only redeeming part about it, and the part that I sometimes even just look forward to more than anything else, is just the drive in and into work and back home. Okay. Oh. There we go. I'm being dumb. So, first up, we're going to do some maintenance. As always, we're going to replace those filters to keep the farts away. And then we'll flip the board around and take care of that Schottky diode keeping this thing from turning on. Here's how you do it, folks. Get your iron, slather those pads with some flux, clean your iron off and put some fresh solder on there. Just give them a few swipes, just a few quick swipes. That's all it needs. Don't even worry about cleaning the old stuff off. You're just gonna you'll probably just break more than you'll fix trying to do that. You don't need to be anal about getting the old stuff off. Just get some good new solder on there. Get a little more flux on there and put your new caps on. Oh man, why does this flux smell like body odor? It smells like straight pits. Sweaty armpits. My flux has never smelled like this before. We've got a 48K dated diode on there, so that is certainly what's gone bad and needs to get replaced either way. Here we go. Oh man, I burned myself pretty good on there the other day. Gnarly. Gnarly! I think that's the worst burn I've ever given myself. Looks like we got some balls on both sides sticking out there. Let's get those off. We don't need that crap here. That should make this one happy HomePod for a long time coming. Let's get it back together. See, I knew we could fix stuff. Oh. Yep. Yep. I don't know what she said, but it probably had something to do with the Wi-Fi. Okay. Okay. We've now got Kevin with some very late onset DC offset. Why can my knife cut tape but not paper? Now it's probably dull. Here we go. That is some serious packing. Let's load her up. Here it is. Alright. Yeah, that is a pretty unhealthy pop if you ask me. Let's give it some new filters. And let's see if they are lucky enough to need a new diode while we're in there. Get out of here! Ah! subwoofer is still in good shape. Alright, the 10 ohm resistor is looking perfect. The Schottky diode is of the 42K date, so the only thing this thing needs are some filters. Let's knock those out. Beautiful. Not quite. Alright, now I'm happy. Let's take a look at Mark C. HomePod with a pop. So it's going to have the same thing as this guy here. Easy peasy.
I'm having trouble connecting
Yes.
to the I'm having trouble.
That is how it should be. All right, Mark, here we go. Oh, it's been a minute since somebody shipped one of these in the original box like this. And the power cable removed. Very nice. Let's get that powered on and see what we've got. Well, it's reset. Okay. Alright, yep. Same kind of pop as the last HomePod, so probably the same fix. Let's go. Hopefully we've gotten to it in time and the subwoofer is still good. It sounds okay. Oh, you're not letting me in. What the heck? Haha. You can't keep me out. Good Lord, but you can try. I gotta pry my hand back open. Wow. We do not need that. Ah, another cramper. Ah. Come on! Oh boy. Oh, looks like that guy is in need of a replacement. It's pretty squished. They all kind of look bad, actually. Subwoofer is still good. Of course. The super glue for thread locker. This HomePod just wants to poop me out. Yes. Alright, back up close. Our 10 ohm resistor, looking great. Our Schottky diode, dated 42K. Deja vu. Let's do these filters. Excuse me. All right. This brings us to our last repair for the day. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Alright. Last one that we have time for today. I think a few more showed up at my UPS mailbox on my way home, so I didn't feel like turning back around and adding to the queue when I wasn't gonna be able to get to them. But Alex is the lucky last repair for the day, so let's get that opened up. Looks like a pretty straightforward no power. Oh, would you look at that? I wonder if it was a refurb that Apple sent to them. Oh, would you look at that? I'll go ahead and read their email. A power outage fried my Gen 1 HomePod. Unfortunately, this is the second time this has happened, and last time it was in warranty, so I got a replacement. Hence the white label refurbished box. Fun fact, all HomePods are from the same production batch. They didn't make a special batch of them for the refurbs. Even the refurbs have the same exact bad parts inside, just waiting to cause the same problems. Actually taking it apart and fixing it is the only thing that's going to actually fix it. Apple sending you a replacement is just putting off the same problem. So stupid. We got no power. We got a couple of watts from the wall. So it looks like the typical dead diode repair. You know what's even shadier is when years ago before I started doing these repairs, I had asked a senior executive at Apple when I was trying to get one of mine replaced just outside of warranty. And they said, I asked them, I was like, do the replacements have the problem fixed? And they said, yup, it's fixed. Bullshit. This stuff is illegal. You can't just lie to your customers like this. And they're getting away with it. Don't get me started about how many customers I've had tell me that they reached out to Apple support when their HomePod stopped turning on, and Apple support said according to their server side, it's an out-of-warranty software issue. Do you know how many times people have reached out to me and been like, yeah, Apple said it wasn't going to be fixable, so I didn't think to reach out to you until I said, screw it, it doesn't hurt to ask? How many people have thrown these away where they would have otherwise been happy to get it repaired, or heck, even just throw it into my trash bin instead of the freaking landfill? Oh, that just gets me fired up every time I get one of these in, and it's accompanied with an email from them that says, I reached out to Apple support and they said blah. And blah was pretty much just a bunch of bullshit. But none of this is new. We've all heard it a million times before with their other products. It shouldn't be a surprise that they are trying to and getting away with the same things on their lesser popular products too. Absolutely mental. But I guess that's how you become a $1 trillion company. Hey, it's still a great speaker. Don't get me wrong. Still my favorite speaker. That's why I fix these things. If they sucked, I wouldn't bother. No matter how much demand was out there to fix them, if they sucked, I wouldn't touch them. But good grief, the constant, just outright lying to your customers. And they don't care. They don't care. If they piss a customer off or the customer finds out and they're like, well, I'm not going to buy any of your stuff anymore, there's dozens of people waiting in line to replace them. They might throw you a bone every once in a while. If you cry hard enough, they might throw you some free out-of-warranty replacements. But that doesn't solve any real problem. Especially when the problem is built into the product and they didn't actually fix it when they sent you a replacement. Subwoofer smells good. First up, some fresh filters. Keep those farts away. What the heck? There we go. Stubborn little cat. Alright, let's take care of that dead diode. Probably a 4.6 or 4.8K. I see an 8. It's an 8. 4.8K. Here we go. Alright. There we have it, folks. That is all that I've got time for here and now. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.